hope everybody had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. I was so, we had a great time, but I was so geared up because it was such beautiful weather. The Thursday and Friday before the weekend of St. Patty's Day, the weather was just awesome. I had a beautiful little spring type dress all picked out and a green cardigan. And then I tell you what, you can just literally see the temperature just dropping. It got so cold. Did it drop 30 degrees? I don't know. It felt like it. It was cold. It was cold and windy. So I thought I need to change my outfit up a little bit because it is not a nice springy day, even though you could have worn it anyway. But I just thought, oh, I want something a little bit warmer. So I opted for my little springy dress, for a black skirt, my St. Patty's Day green cardigan, and then a black shirt underneath, and then my Mary Janes. I think I wore my Mary Janes. Something a little bit warmer because I was going to wear my coat. I have this beautiful vintage coat, and it's like a plush pile, faux fur, but it's not, it's like that pile or plushness, you know, and it's like green velvet with black collar and cuffs on it. So I wore that instead with my black. I thought, I'm going to be too cold in a little cotton skirt, and my polyester shirt and skirt that I wore were much heavier and much more comfortable. But it was just lovely. We went to the, there's a group of us that went to the St. James because they're only open a couple of times a year in the, for the Jimmy's Pub upstairs, I think the name of it. So the James is open all year round, and the porch is open year round, and that's in the basement, and that's a very nice little lounge. But Jimmy's is only open for special occasions, St. Patty's Day, and a couple other events during the year. So we had to go because it was like one of my favorite atmosphere bars because you feel like you're in an old English pub. So that was a great evening. We hit Jimmy's, and then we sat there and ran into some vintage camper people, which was kind of fun. And then we went down to the port and had a little nosh and some cocktails there, and went to the Barrel House, which is the oldest established tavern in Minnesota, or running tavern, but it's a historic little tavern. We listened to some really good music there, and then just headed home. Had a very, very nice St. Patrick's Day Saturday. So what did you guys do? Please comment below. I wish I had a little more interaction, because I love to hear what other people do for things. You know, I sit here and I can just yak away. I mean, it's the type of person that can just sit and talk all by themselves, right? But I always look at it that I'm having coffee and a conversation, and always hope for comments back from you guys. So please comment. What did you guys do for St. Patrick's Day? Did anybody go out and have corned beef and cabbage? I used to make corned beef and cabbage at the house, but I'm sorry, and I love it. It's delicious. But it smells the house up so bad, and it's a lingering smell that just doesn't dissipate with some Febreze. So I did make corned beef and cabbage. I rarely make, I kind of got away from making that stinky food. I can remember, oh, it was years back, I had made homemade French onion soup. You know, it's a crock pot recipe. You brown your onions and stuff and add everything in a crock pot and let it cook overnight. Well, that smell of the cooked onions, because it's kind of almost like it's in the crock pot and it's kind of steaming, so it's in the particles in the air more than just like, oh, smell it. It was wafting through the air. And I went to work back in the day, and somebody goes, "What is that smell?" And I said, "I know, I smell it too. What is it?" It was just kind of, it was a funky smell. And then I smelled it was me. It was, I always hang my uniform out at night before I go to work. And the crock pot was on all night, so guess what permeated through my uniform? Oh Lord, we have some spray in the clinics. It's pretty heavy duty stuff to get rid of very, very potent smells. So I went and I sprayed down my uniform, and like, it didn't affect anything that was in closets or whatever, but I went around the house and really sprayed the bejeebers and opened the windows up, and I'm like, that was the last time after that incident I ever made French onion soup again. It was delicious, but I thought, I don't want that smell. And that same category goes with the cabbage and cabbage and corned beef. The smell it gets in, and I have a very small house. I think the total footage on my whole house up and down, you know, there's this basement, it's kind of a quarter basement because we have it attached below split level house. So 900 square feet can get pretty funky smelling if you're cooking something. I gotta really watch it. Now Easter time's coming up in less than a month now. We're going to be in April next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be April 1st. It's hard to believe. You think it's such a long winter, but it really has been a good winter for weather. We've been very lucky, except for the huge year dumping of snow, but we've been pretty lucky this year with the weather and stuff. But the thing is, it's been so yo-yo. It's just like beautiful spring, and you can just feel the warmth of the sun when you go out. And the next day, it's going to drop 40 plus degrees. It may be sleeting out. So it's just been up and down all season. But it's just around the corner now. We're going to be into April. But then you can get dumped with that really heavy, wet snow. We've only had one real heavy, wet, hard to shovel, hard to get off the driveway snow. Otherwise, it's all been light and fluffy. I've been very grateful for that. So we had a great St. Patrick's Day. Please tell me what you did or what traditions you have, or where did you guys go, or did you go eat something special? I don't think anybody does green beer anymore. I know my parents back in the 70s and 80s used to buy from Pabst Distributing. You could buy a quarter barrel of green dyed beer, and you'd be stuck with it. You'd be stuck with it for because it was a country bar, so we'd have it for a while. People would be coming in a month later, but then we said it was spring beer and Easter beer. So after years, we quit buying the quarter barrels of the. I don't think you can anymore anyway. Quarter barrels of the pre-dyed Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, and then I think we might have put like some drops in it, food color drops if somebody wanted green beer. But you don't want to sit on that. You didn't want to sit on that quarter keg of green beer. So I have been very busy and have been very grateful for being a full-time homemaker. I have loved it. We've always been homemakers all our lives, right? But I have had time. I have worked full-time my whole adult career, except for when I started working before I went to school to be a lab technician. I went for a little mini course and was a nursing assistant and did that full-time and went to school and even did that in the summer times. And then right after lab school, and my first lab job was in 1986, I've been doing medical or lab, since 1983, except for the short stint of when I was in school, and it was like a year and a half of book learning and then a semester of on-site internship where you stayed there. I did that at the VA hospital in Toma. That was a very learning experience. Me and her name was Mary Bement, lived together in kind of like a kind of a dormitory type situation. The VA hospital in Toma is very, very old, and it looks very, very old. And it was you write an essay, and whatever 2 students' essay got approved got to go there, which was great because everybody else in school had to pay for their housing and room and board and all that stuff. And if you got the VA hospital gig, which I was so grateful because my funds were down because I was paying my way through school and some small student loans and working in the summer. If you got it, it was free housing, which was kind of interesting, and free food and free uniforms for the 6 months. So I tell you, and Toma, how long a drive was Toma from here? Was it 3? I can't even remember. It was somewhere between 2 and 4 hours. I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember. But it was close enough where I could come home on the weekends. You kind of needed to because it was kind of like a dormitory, institutional type feel because it was staying there, and you get like visitors knocking on your dorm door sometimes. So you came across some very interesting people. So it was a very, very good learning experience. Because I said, other students said they only got to do, they observe, or they couldn't do this, or they couldn't do that. And once you went through your rotation of training there, you were working independently, and so it's just like kind of like that analogy of like sink or swim. You get thrown in the lake and you better swim to shore or you're gonna sink. It was kind of that's the way that that's kind of the way it was for me and her learning. But they were great teachers, but you had to get going. There was like no hand holding after a certain point, and you better get with the program. But it was a great experience. I'll never give up that 6 months of my life. It was interesting. Many stories from that. So I have really enjoyed having this time now in my retirement for homemaking. I've always, been a housewife or housewife and homemaker, and raising my kids and all that, just like everybody else. But when you're working full time your whole career, it's a juggle, as all of you know. It's juggle, and you still have to do everything, but you have to cram the amount of time you have, and you're tired and you get worn out. And I don't think sometimes that you get the joy out of certain things when you're so scrapped for time, unless you have a great partner who is very supportive of helping you with all of those things. I wasn't blessed that way. I was kind of on my own. I didn't have a large household support system when it came to homemaking and kid raising. But everybody turned out and came out okay. So it's been a joy to have time to homemake and enjoy things. I mean, I went and got my old cookbooks out that were my mom's and my grandmother's that I had put in, and I had used one. It was called the Mary Margaret McBride, and I'll have to do a little video on it, but it was called Mary Margaret McBride Encyclopedia of Cooking, and it could either be bought in one volume, and I know it has somewhere over 1,000 pages in it. It is thick. I'll have to do a little video. But you could either buy the Encyclopedia of Cooking in one volume, or it came in like a set of 10 separate books. I had posted, it's on my YouTube channel, and I posted it on my Vintage Camper Girl Facebook page, and it's a little video I found of a guy who is a book expert or person or whatever, or works in, I should have watched it a little bit better, but he pulls books and does little informational videos about the books that he has where he is. And he had the Mary Margaret McBride and the volumes, and he had a little talk about it, so I posted that. It's really interesting. I have the large, massive yellow one, which had seen better days. It was my mom's. I don't know if it was my grandmother's. I know it was my mother's for sure. And when I got married back in 1986, the first time, that was my big reference. That was my huge reference. It had everything from cooking, anything you could possibly think of, to entertaining, to how to set your table, and helpful hints. And my baking and canning and pickling and everything I got out of that book, and it was great. And I thought, I just stuck it away. You get so busy with life and stuff, and other things, and then I had helped out my husband's business, and you're doing stuff with the kids, and so I thought, what, I have time now during the, the fall, winter, and spring months to do so much, because I will be at the lake once summer comes, all the time. I usually, if I was lucky, made it up to the lake for 10 different trips, either 10 extended weekends or 10 weekends, and it was like my goal every year, but something always happened or came up, or life, was to go up there more. And it was about 10 times, and my son and his gal live in Superior, would come down sometimes, and my other son would go up, so they have use of it independently, but they're busy too. So I have enjoyed having time to homemake. So I have been cooking meals from scratch again, and I remember working and raising kids, and you're just so dang busy. You get home, and you run in, you have to pick up your kids, and then you get home, and you would have to get supper together, and then help the kids with their homework, when they're that age, and then you had to do your chores and your laundry, and and then you were just busy. And I don't think I didn't have the time, when I look back, to have really enjoyed those things, because you had so many things that you had to do. There wasn't much time to enjoy what you were doing, because you were so hurried. And at least me, I don't know, maybe people are better organized, but when you work full time and you're doing everything, you don't have time to enjoy things like you should. So I am enjoying homemaking, spending the afternoon doing meals from scratch, which is lovely, and doing, more elaborate meals and not just like something quick and here's supper or whatever. Taking time to do that, taking time to bake. I I have my grandma's Jello molds hanging in my kitchen, for decor or whatever, and Grandma used them. So I've been making old-fashioned Jello molds, not any of the icky Jello molds, like the tuna or spam or whatever. I like, like the fruit Jello with, as much as I like the fruit Jello with like fruit cocktail in it, or peach Jello with peaches in it, or whatever, and it's so pretty in the mold. So I've been doing some Jello molds, and that's been fun. And I have had time to do so many little projects and stuff. And sometime I'll sit down and talk to you all about my photo album / ancestry / heritage, because I'll be here for an hour, and I'm trying to cut my morning coffees down to a half hour, if that's possible for me. I don't know. Last time I did pretty good, but then if I don't talk to you guys for a while, here I go. So I'm trying to stick to subjects. So it's been nice to have time to just do the simple things of homemaking, and getting up and doing making your bed every day, or like I said, making meals and baking a little bit. And I try not to have the TV on all day long. I'll play my mom's old records, and I have some too on my GE record player. It's just a little teeny one, the plastic ones with the lid on it. So it's not big symphonic sounds. It's just a plain old record player. So I have my mom had so many records. She belonged to the Time Life like record clubs, and where you can, I think, order them off the TV and whatever. So she had all these, like, we're through the decades, and I mean, I had just 1,000 records or whatever from all these collections that you could buy. Reader's Digest, that was another one that she got these collections of stuff through. And I just kept my mother's records, and it was hard. I just kept my mother's records that were the ones that I remember, like her Christmas records, and some of her, she had one like from a cruise, and she had some other ones that I kept. So maybe out of all these Time Life she had a lot of them. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. Out of all of them, I probably kept about 20 of my mom's LPs, and then all of these ones that were the big encyclopedia collections of whatever. I did give those all away, I think, to Goodwill or Salvation Army or something, because I thought, just wanted ones that meant something to me. So I'll turn the record player on or the radio on during the day while I'm doing stuff, and try not to have the TV on at all. I'm not getting back. I used to watch, and my mom watched it, and I watched it, Days of Our Lives, and it's still on Peacock, and we have Peacock, and some of the old Deidre Hall is still on it, and some of the old ones from when I used to watch it back in the I don't know, 70s, 80s, 90s. Some of the actors or actresses are still on there, but I have no idea what's going on with the storylines, and the ones that mean something to me, they're just kind of, they don't have the biggest parts. It's gone to the younger actors and the younger storylines and stuff. So it's just kind of fun to turn that on a little bit, but you can watch that any time of day. And nothing's like, oh my gosh, it's noon, so you have to go watch Mel's Matinee. That used to be out of this, I think that was out of this, it was called Mel's Matinee, and it was out of the cities. And then Days of Our Lives, and then you might watch some game shows or something. I can remember. So I try not to have the TV down. I don't want to have like something like, oh, I gotta watch something or stop what I'm doing, because I've been keeping quite busy with everything as it is. So some of the things that I have done when I retired is that I kept doing is, because I'm kind of on a stricter budget, but I think you still need to have things that are like special or treats. So I get a subscription to Birds and Blooms, and this is every 2 months, and it's $12 a year. So for the 6 you get, it's $2, whatever. So it's not so bad to get. You got a little thing here, so you can. It is, I love my birds. I used to belong to this one. It was Reminisce, and I just never had time for it, and I just kept putting it to the side. And it's nostalgic stuff, and I kept a whole stack of the ones that I wanted to read and stuff, because I kept getting them. Someday when I retire, So I gave a bunch to Gary, that things I knew he would like, and then I kept a bunch for when I want to read them. But this one I always like to get. It's just always like, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that one. Oh my, who doesn't love hummingbirds? So I get this every 2 months, and this is kind of my little treat to myself. So I get this as a little treat, because you need to have a little something. Even though I'm on a budget, I can afford $12. I can afford, it's $1 a month or two every 2 months. I get that, and then I did this one for just a while as a treat, and it's called, they're all over the place. You'll see people that do monthly whatever, Ipsy. It's called Ipsy, and it's a subscription. You get like different little things every month in it, and so it's just a cute little teeny bag, and then you kind of put on a list of kind of the stuff you kind of want. So I'll get it, and I'll go through it. It's like a little treat, and so it's $16 a month. And like this month I got a little powder, and that's cute, and then you get a cute little strawberry brush, and then I got some facial stuff, and you might get whatever. And sometimes, in this bag I'll keep. So I'll go through it, see what it is, and swatch it or whatever. And then if it's something I want to keep, otherwise I pass it down to my niece Ashley. And she loves the little bags and the makeup and stuff. Like I said, I'll just swatch it to see if it's a color or a tone I like, and if it's not, I'll pass it on to her. So just the bag and the few little things, it kind of balances out what you get. And then she gets some little cute little stuff too. So I get that, and I'm not going to keep doing that year round. I'll probably do it a few more months, and then I'll cancel it. Because I don't need a bunch of stuff and a bunch of makeup. But it's nice to get the little trial sizes of like face wash or whatever. So that's nice to get. But then like this one I really liked, and it was a rice water wash. I'm like, oh, I really liked it. It didn't break me out. It didn't make my face red. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go online, because you get just a little nugget sample, and it was $40. No. So it was a nice little treat. And get little travel sizes to travel with or whatever. But I'm not going to spend that kind of money. It's nice to try this stuff, and it's a nice little treat to try it. But I'm not going to spend $40 for a face wash. I use Neutrogena's Hydrogel foaming facial wash, and that's pretty reasonable for a bottle of it. That's like $10, and it lasts me months. And then their lotion too. And I have rosacea, and it doesn't seem to break me out or make me red or whatever. So I'm sticking to that. But it's nice to try some stuff once in a while. So those are my two little treats that I get every month, every other month. And you got to do a little treats. I got to pick up some. So, like I was saying, really enjoying just homemaking, having my house picked up all the time. Still living by the mantra of don't put it down, put it away. Because I used to be, the gal, and I think I've said this before, come home, you just throw it here, you put it in a pile or whatever. Put it away. It's nice because it does keep your house a lot neater and cleaner and stuff. And it's nice to have a house that's neat and picked up and clean all the time. And I get joy out of just like, oh, it's linen day, so stripping my bed and putting fresh linens on my bed. Here's a little linen bed related helpful hint for all you gals like me that have an overabundance of Afghans. I have a ton. My grandma Bean was a prolific crocheter, and I have bags and bags and bags of Afghans. Well, I try to give them away where I can through the years. I've tried to keep a few in case if I ever have a grandchild or two. Kept a couple for that. Kept a couple for my sons if they want them. But when you have puppy dogs, you know how you make your bed and you have your Afghan laying over the foot of your bed, and it's lovely. When you have puppy dogs, their feet or claws get caught in them, so you can't leave them out laying on your bed all the time like when I was working, because what if they got their claw or something? They could rip and cause some major damage to their whatever, or be stuck like that until I got home from work. So I was talking to my cousin Christy, and she says, well, she has Afghans from whoever too. And so what she does is, she says, instead of, when it gets to a certain time of year, and I take my wool blanket, take my heavy wool blanket off, it's a vintage one with the satin edging on it. Oh, so warm. You don't want that because it's too heavy. She said she uses the Afghan under her bedspread as a blanket. And I'm like, oh, I have never thought of that. So you don't got to worry about your dogs getting tangled up in it. And it's, you're using it at least. So that's what I started doing is when I take my winter blanket off, I will put on my Afghan as my blanket underneath my bedspread. So I don't have to worry about my puppy dogs getting their claws and feet tangled up into it if I'm home or not home or whatever. And so I use them that way. So that was great. Thank you, Christy. That was a very wonderful idea. I never even thought about that. Because I think you always think, they're crocheted and whatever, and you kind of want them on display also. But if you can't use them on display, make them useful. And what a great idea that was. So that's what I do. So not only have I had time to do all the homemaking things that I have loved, it's been a great time for me to organize stuff. So I bought myself this little organizer book, and I have been like organized, not to be morbid, but if something happens to me, I have a fireproof folder for my boys that has anything you possibly could think of and that they may possibly need. If something happens to me, it's all in there. Be it I end up hospitalized for something or something more permanent happens to me, they can access this. And it's a and I got it off Amazon, and it's a fireproof zip folder that's good for like 400 minus 1400 degrees Fahrenheit or something. So it's a fireproof folder. So I put all of my important stuff into that and have that locked away. So if something happens, they know to grab that folder, and everything they could possibly need is in there. Instructions and whatever. And then I bought myself this little it was an address book. And then I happen to have a marker that was the same color. So Zach and Seth, here is all of this stuff. Information, addresses for Mary Zettner Lofgren. So they know that everything they possibly could need when it comes to information is in this too. And it just kind of gives you a sense of peace of mind, because I don't have a will done yet, which I need to do. That's the next on the list. I know how hard, from personal experience, when somebody passes away, even though you think, like my mom, I thought we had conversations enough for that when she passed, I wouldn't, and she didn't have me as an executive, which made things harder, but I waddled through all of it and got it all done. But and I thought me and my mom had a very open conversation about stuff, and we did talk about it. So if something happened, X, Y, and Z, but there's like really minute, detailed stuff, like, okay, Mom, what are all the bills that you pay? Where are all of your accounts at? What are all of your credit cards? What, we kind of talked about stuff, and I did have my name on her bank account, which made it way easier for everything, I'll tell you that. But just really detailed stuff. So me, after having taken care of my grandmother's, helping with my two brothers, and doing completely one for one brother, and then helping with the others, and my mom and dad, and through the years of just the things I have learned, I don't want my children to have that type of stress. So I am organizing everything so everything is easy peasy, non-stressful, because it's a hard enough time when you're dealing with the loss of a loved one to have to deal with all this stuff. And I've always worked full-time when I've had to deal with all of that. So except for my brother Donnie, who passed, I've had the luxury after he passed, and I left my job, that I had time to take care of things that I needed to. And it took me months and months to really finalize and get everything done. And I thought I was done, and then something else came up I just had to take care of, and I thought it was all done, but now I think I am all done with that. So I'm sure when my time comes, both my boys will be working full time, and I don't want them having to have the stress of trying to figure out stuff and go on the scavenger hunt of my life to figure out what they need to take care of. So doing things like getting my son on my bank account with my name, and make sure that they're a beneficiary of like my retirement funds, and then I have to get a will yet to put some stuff in trust too. It will just make it so much easier. So I've had time to take care of that stuff and organize that. And I tell you, it gives you a sense of peace. I said it's just nice to have that because I'm a worrywart. So it's nice to have the time to take care of all that stuff. So kind of part of homemaking is home taken care of and taking care of family, and trying to alleviate stress on others, hopefully, someday when all that type of stuff happens. So that's what I've been doing. Enjoyed St. Patty's Day. I have thoroughly enjoyed homemaking. I have loved it. I have loved being a full-time homemaker and having time to even like schedule stuff. I'm sure you guys know when you're working full-time, just trying to schedule an appointment to go to take care of my puppies or take care of me or the dentist or whatever, or even doing your shopping. When you're working full time, trying to get all that stuff in, and when you work at a place where you can't get time off like I did and couldn't get time off that I wanted off for years, that's stressful and aggravating. So I've had unlimited time to take care of just day-to-day life things, which has been great. And then not worry about, other than if there's something else scheduled, not, oh, can I get that day off for work? I hope they can get that off, or will she let me off early, or can I come in late? And you would think that people would be amiable and helpful when it came to doing that type of stuff, but that's not the real world, is it? You were lucky to get it off, or if you asked for it, you're asked like you're asking for, ownership of the Taj Mahal, when you're just asking for, can I come in an hour or two late? So I've enjoyed that too. So I have really enjoyed being this full-time homemaking individual. It has given me joy and peace. I can't even tell you. I'm glad that everything happened kind of the way, even though it was stressful and awful. I didn't know which end was up when I walked off my job. Best decision of my life. And I've kind of got my groove down now for my budget, because I have a very strict budget. Even if I did need more money, I could access more from my 401k funds if I wanted to, but I'm just trying to be frugal for, like this first year, and I'm not taking any trips other than the trip to Vegas with Gary, which is his treat. It's nice to have the time, and have the time for preparation of Easter, getting stuff ready for my camper rally, getting things ready for Viva Las Vegas, getting things prepped for, like I said, the lake. I have all this preparatory time, so when it comes time for all of these things in my life, I'm organized and ready to go and not stressed out and running around like a chicken with their head cut off because you just don't have time. And I've always been an organizer, and all my organizational skills have always kind of centered around, always give them all to my job, and then whatever is left over for my personal life. I'm a good organizer, but I used to get so stressed out because of the time factor. So that's gone. That is gone. And the feeling of like, on Sunday, my son would be like, oh, work tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I can do my laundry tomorrow. It doesn't matter if I didn't get my uniforms washed, because I don't wear uniforms anymore. And having a wash day. Now that I'm home, my son does all of his own independent stuff, laundry and stuff. I find that I only have to do my laundry every 2 weeks. Isn't that crazy? So that's great. I love it, because I have like 3 sheet sets from when we took our trip to Iceland and Ireland. I have enough underwear for like 3 weeks, I think. 2.5 weeks, I think that's what an exorbitant amount of underwear, and say pajamas. I have like 8, so I don't have to do my laundry every week. I don't have to have a laundry day. I don't have to. Every 2 weeks I do a large load of all of my clothes and my sheets and my linens and all of that, and I'm done for 2 more weeks. So I only have to do my laundry unless there's something, special, like doing bathroom rugs or whatever that comes up. But otherwise, I only have to do laundry every couple weeks. So, and it's just my stuff, like I said. So that's kind of nice too. It's nice though to have, this is my laundry day, and this is my day to do this or my day to do that. And I slowed my roll down so I wasn't going crazy trying to get 8 million things done like I was before. Trying not to. I found out that I was like doing this a lot, and I'm really sorry. I did a couple of videos where, because my desk is right here, and it's just kind of like, oh, you're talking and visiting, you want to do this, there's So I'm trying to sit properly on my stool and keep my hands out of my face. I'm good at that. I'm a hand talker, and not have little I always watch back my videos. I'm like, oh, what am I doing, or what was I doing, or what was I fiddling? Because I'm such a fidgety fiddler type person, trying to like think of myself, because nobody wants to see me sit here and fiddle and fidget around. So I'm trying not to do that. So I'm done with my coffee. Thanks for coming over. What have you been up with? Please conversate with me, and tell me what's going on, and share the conversation. I love it. I absolutely love when people talk to me in the comments and I can message them back. I just love that connection and that little kind of YouTube-y friendship that you have with everybody that watches and stuff. And if you don't want to, you don't have to do this. But I know everybody has their usernames on their YouTube channels, or even some of their Facebook, they have more of their names and stuff. But like on my Instagram, I'm Vintage Camper Girl, Wisconsin. On here, but I'm Mary. My name's Mary. So when you talk to me and your little handle comes up, if you want to tell me your name, that'd be kind of neat. I would really like that. I like to know what people's names are. I was gonna spew off a couple, but maybe people don't want me to spew off their usernames. But if you're saying, put your little, not logo, but your little YouTube name will come up, and if you say, hi, this is Jan Brady, or Jan, just your first name. It's kind of neat to know what is your real name, because your handle is not your name. My handle, I've had people though yell at me, Vintage Camper Girl, Wisconsin. It gets your attention, because there's not like, Mary, there might be 5 Marys, but when I've been like at events or places or whatever and somebody yells at it, like, it gets my attention right away, but my name is Mary. So if you feel comfortable and if you want to share your name when you do your little comment on our morning coffees or any of my videos, it's kind of neat to know your names. I do appreciate that. Just kind of feels a little bit more connected with you. So everybody have a great week. On upcoming, I have to do a little, I'm going to do a little video, and I don't think I'm going to do a live video, like this. I think I'm just going to take pictures of my stuff that I'm taking to Viva Las Vegas, so you guys can see, even though you'll see it, because I'll take videos and stuff when we go, take a little picture of each of my little Viva outfits. I'm going to go over to Gary's house and get his stuff for Viva, and then what I'm planning on doing is like lay my outfit with my accessories down, and then what he's kind of wearing, at least the shirt part of it or something, so you guys can just see the outfits that I'm taking with me to Viva Las Vegas. And then I also want to do a little chit chat about Ancestry.com. That's really my big thing right now. And then also kind of cookbooks and some of the little treasures that I found. So everybody have a great week. Thanks for coming over. Hope that I wasn't as fidgety and all over the place like usual, but that's just me. So everybody take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.